Hi guys, this is Vineet, and in today's video we will discuss about tail log backups inside SQL Server. Before I proceed ahead, I would request you guys to please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. There's a subscribe button below this video. Click on that button. After you click on the subscribe button, you will get a bell icon. Click on that bell icon, select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my upcoming videos. There are a few points to remember. Please watch this video till the end to gain better clarity of the concept, uh, starting from scratch. If possible, please watch this video twice to gain better understanding and perform the exercises in your lab environment or the test environment. Please do not touch any production environments or the production databases. And we would like to know your thoughts regarding our videos, so please share your comments. In case you need the PDF copy of the notes associated with this video, then you can download them from the link below by paying a nominal fee. This link is also included in the video description as well. There are some playlists to watch, so these links are included in the video description page or the video description. I will include all these links, and these are the links for my two playlists, which is a database design playlist and a business continuity playlist. Business continuity playlist hosts more than 45 videos, and database design also hosts somewhere around like 30 videos. So please watch out this playlist. It contains useful content, useful videos that will be very beneficial for you. And apart from that, there's a channel link, which is the first link on this slide, which is indicating SQL Docs by Vineet. This is my channel link. You can go to that link and also subscribe to my channel there as well. In case you have any questions related to SQL Server, you can ask them by paying a nominal fee of INR 500 on the link given below, topnet.io link. This link is also included in the description. You can check the service out. And also, in case you need help with writing profile in your resume, I'm available for consultation with an hourly charge of INR 1000. And this service can be availed from the below link, the topnet.io link. This link is also included in the description. Now let's come back to a topic, which is tail log backups in SQL Server. Let's go to notes. Okay. So today we will discuss about the tail log backups. The tail log backups. Okay. So what are they? So tail log backups are available under the full or bulk log recovery models. So tail log backups are only available under the full or bulk log recovery model. They are not available under the simple recovery model. Now let's talk further. So a tail log backup captures any log records that haven't yet been backed up. So tail log backup will contain all those records, database records, which are not yet backed up. And this tail log backup is also known as the tail of the log. So why do we do this tail log backup? To prevent any work loss and to keep the log chain intact. So this is the major purpose of taking the. Give me a moment, guys. Let me clear this out. I mean, pen note, but let me clear out this first. Let's come out. Alright, guys, let's continue. So let me select the pen mode that was not working previously properly. I'm using pen as a pointer now. Now, so far we have discussed that the tail log backups are available under the full or bulk log recovery models, and tail log captures any log records that haven't been yet backed up, and this is also known as the tail of the log. And we usually take tail log backups to prevent any work loss and to keep the log chain intact. This is the main purpose, to prevent any work loss and to keep the log chain intact. And before you can recover a SQL Server database, before the SQL Server database can be recovered to its latest point in time, you must back up the tail of its transaction log. So before any restore operation can be performed, it is very much essential to take the tail of the log backup. So this is what it is saying: before you can recover a SQL Server database by using the restore operation to its latest point in time, you must back up the tail of its transaction log. Now the tail log backup is the last backup of interest in the recovery plan. So tail log backup is the one which is restored last, taken first before doing any restore. But yeah, the tail log backup gets restored in the end. So it's the last backup of interest in the recovery plan for a database. You can watch out my other videos on the tail log backups, which is showing you practically how you should take a tail log backup before performing a restore operation. So it is the last backup of interest, the tail log backup in the recovery plan for a database. Now, not all scenarios require a tail log backup. So every scenario do not require a tail log backup. You do not need a tail log backup if the recovery point is contained in the earlier log backup. So although taking tail log backup is essential, but yeah, there's no need to restore that tail log backup if your data point is contained in the earlier log backup. A tail log backup is unnecessary if you are moving or replacing, overriding a database. In those situations also, the tail log backup is unnecessary and don't need to restore it to a point of time after its most recent backup. So yeah, if we do not want to do a point in time restore, then yes, tail log backups are not essential. And if our recovery point is stored in the early log backups, then yeah, tail log backups are not essential at all. So let's discuss about some of the scenarios that required a tail log backup. So we should take a tail log backup in the following scenarios. So let's look carefully into these scenarios. When would we like to take a tail log backup? So let's talk about these scenarios. So first scenario is if a database is online. So if your database is online and you plan to perform a restore operation on the database, so in those situations taking a tail log backup becomes essential in case your database is online, not offline, and we want to perform restore on that database which is online. So what do? We begin by taking a tail of the log backup, and to avoid any error for an online database, you must use the with no recovery option. So if we want to avoid any error, we use the tail log backup with the no recovery option of the backup SQL statement. And basically using the no recovery option puts the database in the recovery pending state so that any updates to it cannot be done. Also, we take a database to a single user mode while performing any restore operations or taking a tail of the log backup. So yeah, no recovery option can also be used to avoid any errors for an online database. So if a database is online, a user may be connected to it, maybe doing some transactions. So in order to take that database into the recovery pending state, we use the no recovery option while doing the tail log backup. Now, second situation is if a database is offline and fails to start and you need to restore the database. So next situation, our database becomes offline. So at this point, the transaction cannot occur against the database if it is offline. So now the database is offline and it's failing to start and we want to restore that particular database. So first what we will do, first we will back up the tail of the log, because no transactions can occur at this time because database is offline. So tail of the log is taken. Use the with no truncate option. So basically, no truncate is effectively the same as a copy only transaction log backup. So it does not truncate the log. So no truncate is effectively the same as taking a copy only transaction log backup. So if you normally take a transaction log backup, it truncates the transaction log. But if the no truncate option is used, then yeah, it does not truncate the transaction log even after taking the backup. So this should be done only when the database is in offline state and it's failed to it is unable to start, and we want to restore the database. In those scenarios only we take a tail log backup with the no truncate option, and it is basically similar to taking a copy only transaction log backup. Using with no recovery is optional. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't, you don't. It is optional because database is offline and not online. So it is only compulsory in the scenarios where the database is online. But here our database is offline, so using the no recovery is optional. And no transactions are being taking place at present because database is offline. So you can omit using the no recovery option. It's totally optional. But we should use the no truncate option while taking the transaction log backup. Now the third situation is if your database is damaged, try to take a tail log backup by using the with continue after error. So in case your database is damaged, using the normal tail log backup option will not work and you may get errors. So in case you're getting any errors, please use the tail log backup with the this option with continue after error. So in case any error occurs, it continues even after that, taking the tail log backup. So this is one of the options of the backup statements to use with continue after error. So if you are taking a tail log backup, it should continue if it encounters any errors. Now on a damaged database, backing up the tail of the log can succeed only if the log files are undamaged. So if our database is damaged and we are trying to back up the tail of the log, this operation can only succeed if your log files are undamaged. The database in a state that support tail log backups, and second thing is the database should be in a state that supports the tail log backup and your log file should be undamaged, and the database does not contain any bulk log changes. Also, third point is your database should not contain any bulk log changes. So only then a tail of the log backup can succeed in those scenarios. If a tail of log backup cannot be created, any transactions committed after the last log backup are lost. So in case you are not able to create the tail log backup, so you will lose the work, any work that is committed after the last log backup, you will lose that work. Now let's talk about the backup log option. Two options, the no recovery and the continue after error. What do they do exactly? So let's discuss them. So if we use a no recovery option during the tail of the log backup, so tail log backup, if we use the no recovery option, so basically we use the no recovery option whenever we intend to continue with the restore operation. So why do we use no recovery option? If our restore operation is not yet complete and we want to continue with further restores, at that point we use the no recovery operation on the database. So no recovery, but what it does basically is it takes the database into a restoring state, and this step basically guarantees that the database doesn't change after the tail log backup. So while taking the tail log backup, if we use the no recovery option, it will take database into a restoring state, and after it went into the restoring state, no changes can be made to the database, and that is the reason why we use the no recovery option. The log is truncated unless the no truncate option is specified, or copy only option is also specified. Both options can be used, no truncate or copy only, one and the same thing. Otherwise, if we usually take the tail log backup, the log gets truncated. If we do not want to truncate the log, use the no truncate option. Now, important point is that you should avoid using the no truncate except in the scenarios when the database is damaged or offline. We should not use the no truncate option. You may need to put the database. So, what do we usually do? We basically put the database into a single user mode to obtain exclusive access before performing the restore with no recovery. So database should be brought to single user mode to obtain exclusive access before performing the restore with no recovery. After the restore, set the database back up to multi-user mode. So this should be done. You should take any database to a single user mode. I have many videos that indicates how to take a database into a single user mode. Please check out those videos in my playlist on business continuity. So you should take a database into a single user mode to obtain exclusive access before performing any restore operations with the no recovery options. And after the restore, set the database back to multi-user mode. Now, what is the continue after error option? So if we use this option, continue after error, we use this option only if we are backing up a tail of a damaged database. In case our database is damaged, we use this option with the tail log backup. When you back up the tail of the log of a damaged database, some of the metadata ordinarily captured in the log backups might be unavailable. So let's discuss about this point. When you back up the tail of the log database, tail of the log of a damaged database basically, we might lose some of the metadata that is ordinarily captured in the log backups. We may lose that data, or that metadata might be unavailable. So let's talk about this topic, tail log backups that have incomplete backup metadata. Tail log backup capture the tail of the log even if the database is offline, damaged, or missing data files. So even in those scenarios, the tail log backup can capture the tail of the log. This might cause incomplete metadata from the restore information command and MSDB database. However, only the metadata is incomplete, the captured log is complete and usable. So this metadata information is missing, although the log captured, the tail log captured is complete and completely usable. But we may lose this information if our database is damaged, some additional metadata, backup metadata. If the tail log backup has an incomplete metadata, so we are talking about the scenario where the tail log backup has incomplete metadata in the backup set table. So this table is in the MSDB database, not in the master database. So this is the table which is kept in the MSDB database. So for tail of the log backup has incomplete metadata, we can check this table out, backup set table, and it has incomplete metadata. That value should be set to 1. So let me quickly show you how to check that table. Although we have not taken any tail log backups yet, you can watch out my other videos if you want to know how to take tail log backups while performing any restore operations. So here I will just show you how you can check this backup set table, and also show you the column I'm just referring to. So it's inside the MSDB database, so we can query that table. So we can do select star from backup set is the table name. So if we execute this, what was the column name? Has incomplete metadata. It is set to 1 for any tail log backups that has incomplete metadata. So let's just check out this column quickly. So we can put it first as well as incomplete metadata. So this is the column we are interested in. We are bringing it to front. So yeah, this is the column. We can check if your tail log backup has any incomplete metadata. It is indicated by a bit set here to 1. Now let's get back. So, and also we can check this information in the output of a restore header only. We have discussed running these statements in one of our other videos, so you can check those videos out. So you can restore a header only for a particular file, backup file. It shows whether it has incomplete metadata or not. So it also have a column as incomplete metadata, which is set to 1. So for restoring header only, you need to specify the backup file. So here we are not doing that. You can check out my other videos, as this is a theory only section. Now if the metadata in the tail log backup is incomplete, the backup file group table is missing most of the information about file groups at the time of the tail log backup file group. Let's see if we have such table. So this is another table we are talking about, the backup file group. So it contains information about various file groups that are backed up in particular backup set IDs. So if the metadata in the tail log backup is incomplete, the backup file group table is missing, and most of the information about file groups at the time of the tail log backup. So table is not missing, but yeah, that table is missing most of the information about file groups at the time of tail log backup. So that information is not stored. If the metadata in a tail log backup is incomplete, this table does miss most of the information about the file groups at the time of the tail log backup. Most of the backup file group table columns are null. So let's discuss it again. Only the meaningful columns are as below. So this is the general description. So let's discuss this section again. So if the metadata in our tail log backup is incomplete, which is only happens in the situation if our database is damaged. If the metadata is incomplete, what happens is the backup file group table miss most of the information or records about file groups at the time of taking the tail log backup. And let's talk just about this file group table, backup file group. Most of the backup file group table columns are null, so let's check that out. So we see it has only like 6 or 7 columns, I would say. So here most of the columns are not null normally. Only the log file group GUID is null. The rest of the columns are filled. But we are talking about the situation where the metadata in a tail log backup is incomplete. So maybe we will find some records where majority of columns are null. And it is talking about the meaningful columns as well. So what are all meaningful columns for us? So backup set ID is one of the meaningful columns. So this column, backup set ID. Next is the file group ID. This is the file group ID or particular backup set ID. And the type of backup indicated by here, whether it's a file group backup or some other kind of backup. And the type description is also given in this section, type description. So this is a file group backup indicating the rows file group, and fx indicating memory optimized data file group. And another column of interest is read only. So this indicates whether this is the column which indicates whether it's a read only file group or a read write file group. So yeah guys, we are done with this video. I hope you liked this video. Please click on the like button if you really like this video, and do share your comments with us. Please share this video with your friends in case you feel this video is useful for them as well. And also please subscribe to my channel. There's a subscribe button below this video. Click on that subscribe button. You will get a bell icon. Click on that bell icon. Select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my upcoming videos. So I thank you so much for your time on this video, and you have a wonderful day.